This is Laura GB. Welcome to day 7 of my 12 days of components. Today we're going to have a look at adding some labels to our presents. That will involve adding some text and rotating it. So here we are in the app that we've done so far with our 4 trees and our multiple presents with different patterns on. And we're going to add a new component. So let's go to components. And let's add in a brand new one. And let's rename it to be day 07 present tag. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to resize it so that it's not huge when it gets onto the screen. So I'm going to resize it to 150 by 150, okay, which will be about the right size, and then we're just going to zoom in a bit to get it in there. And as we've done almost every day, I'm going to insert a image and we're going to make it fit our picture. So that's 0, 0 on X and Y, and my width. Now I'm going to show you a different way to do this today. Rather than clicking on width there, we're going to go to advanced and I'm going to search for width. Okay, and up comes the box, and that gives me the same IntelliSense that I have up in the formula bar. So parent.width, and then I can search for height. And I'm going to put in parent dot height. And there we are. It fills the box. Not sure if that's any better than the formula bar or not. Anyway, let's get on with looking at the image. Okay, so I'm going to go back to properties and click on image to bring that up into the formula bar. I can cope with short code in the advanced boxes, but not the long code that we're going to put in for the SVG. So I've got some SVG copied already to start us get us going. And let's expand that down. So there we are. I've got quite a simple bit of SVG there. It's a path I've worked out. So I've worked out the dots that I want the path to go on, and then I've put in a fill of tan. Okay, so that works. Let's just go back to my screen and zoom out a bit. No, I really do want to zoom out, please. Thank you. And let's off the insert ribbon, go to custom and put in a present tag, and there we are. I can drag it down. Now, one of the weird things is that for some reason it puts it at the back. If you see the list on the left hand side here, it's down the bottom here. So what I want is, so my tags are in front of my presents. I'm going to click on the 3 dots, I'm going to reorder, and I'm going to bring it to the front. And there we are, there's my tag. It's about the right size for the present. That works well. Okay, obviously on some of my other presents I might choose to resize it. Right, so let's go back into my components. And this is a really weird thing. The dots around it suddenly become really big. But anyway, I think that's due to zooming or something. So let's go back into our SVG code, and we're going to add some text. So I'm going to put it into there. Now, text is a tag that has an X and a Y. Now, what you need to understand about the X and the Y is it is the bottom left-hand corner. By default, you can change it to be something else if you want it to be, but it's the bottom left-hand corner of your of the text box. So you've got to position it quite well. Now I've done some playing around here, and so I've worked out some of the dimensions. So we're going to go for a font size 30. That appears to work quite well. Okay, and then I'm going to put in what text I want. So let's give this present to Tom. and then I put in a close tag for the text. Okay, and there you go. You've got a tag with Tom written on it. Well, it's not quite on the tag because it overlaps the edge, and I'd quite like it to go along the edge, along the line of Tom. So therefore I want it to be rotated. So the next part is to put in a transform. And a transform can equal a rotation. So into here we put in the function that we want it to be. Okay. And that rotate is going to be, well, I want it to be rotated around 45 degrees. And the rotation point for that is going to be the middle of my box, which is 100 by 100. So the middle is 50-50. And there we go. We've got Tom written down the tag. And if we go back to our screen and zoom out again, there you are. We've got a label that says Tom. So if I go back to my components, I obviously don't want it always to say Tom, because not all the presents are for Tom. We need that to be passed in to this tag. So let's go back onto our present tag and across to the right hand side to add a, let's hide that formula bar, new custom property, and let's call it tag name, and tag name displayed on tag. It's an input and it's text, and let's create. Okay, so we've got a tag, and let's put into there a different name. Let's put in Dad. Dad should get a present. Okay, so into our SVG where we've got Tom. Okay, it's again this splitting up of strings, two quotes between them, put in some ampersands as well, and then put in parent dot, it's not helping, is it? Let's put a capital P, see if that makes it any better. Let's put that dot back in. No, it's really not going to help, but that's okay. It was called tag name, and there we are. We've got a label with Dad written on it. Okay, so now let's go back into my screen, zoom out again. Oh, let's zoom in again. The zooming as you go back and forwards from the components is very weird. Anyway, let's, on the insert ribbon, let's put in another present label. And the interesting part there is to appreciate that in a component, if things that aren't there are transparent, so you can vaguely see the label there. But let's move it, reorder it and bring it to the front. Okay, now obviously we should be renaming these, etc., but I'm just going to go with what's there. And this one isn't for Dad, this one is going to be for Mum. Okay, and obviously we can add in some more labels. So there we go. We have 5 labels using text and a bit of rotation on 5 presents. If you haven't already, please press subscribe. Take care now.